Please welcome back the director, Vera Krichevskaya, her producer, Mike Lerner, and the subject of the film, Natalia Sindeeva. Let me start with you. This film has been long in the works. We see history continue to unfold in front of your camera. Can you talk about what you were trying to capture when you began, and what the process was like to keep on as this history kept on unfolding? What kept you going?
I mentioned it in the film, in my narration, that I started making this film when I thought it is the end, we are reaching the end. And we created this company together, we launched it together, and I thought I definitely have to film how it's gonna be completed. I don't know how to say what is the proper word. But here you saw lots of archives from very beginning. But it was Natasha's idea. It was time before Instagram, before selfie. But Natasha wanted to film our each step. I thought it's, I don't know, crazy narcissism or something else. And in our archive footage, I found a scene when Natasha and I, it's a late night, we are sitting alone in the office, and she's saying, we have to make a film. It's gonna be explosion. Yes, we will make a film. It was 2008. Our first broadcast was 2010, 2 years later. So there are very different motives behind this film.
Mike, let me bring you into this as the producer. Can you talk about what it was that you saw in this project? I should say that you've previously done work in Russia. You made a film about Pussy Riot. What was it that drew you into this project?
Well, I was just really amazed when Vera we got together, and I just realized the kind of depth and extraordinary material that she had over all this period of time. And as you say, I've had my dealings in Russia before, and indeed knew Dozhd through Pussy Riot, and so I knew what an important and powerful thing it was. But I didn't really know much about Natasha. And again, when I realized you had this incredible diary of your lives as well as the lives of people in Russia, and of course you can see the slow, steady descent into unfreedom, as Medvedev would call it. So yeah, I thought it was just an amazing resource even, and then we, Vera and our editors worked incredibly hard to make this into a film I think that people outside of Russia can understand, because that was obviously a very important thing for us to be able to convey what life has been like really in Russia for the last 12 years and continues to be, and more importantly how it has steadily got worse. And I also think this film's an important film because what happens in Russia today happens everywhere else in the world not long after, and you can see these repressive techniques and behaviors being copied and repeated around the world. So anyway, that's why I thought it was important for people to understand, how these things develop.
Let me go to Natasha, and when you watch this finished film, what are the things that stand out to you?
Я третий с половиной раз смотрю этот фильм, смотрю все время со зрителями. Каждый раз я смотрю по-новому, каждый раз я нервничаю, узнаю что-то новое из этого фильма. Но что для меня важно, и чем дальше происходит то, что происходит в России, что мне бы очень хотелось на самом деле, чтобы этот фильм действительно посмотрели именно в России. И для меня это, и для нас, мне кажется, это очень важно, потому что даже люди, живущие в России, не понимают всего того, что происходит с свободными СМИ и с людьми. Поэтому мне очень хотелось. Извините.
This is the third and a half time I've seen this film. I always watch it with an audience, and every time I find something that surprises me, and I watch it anew. But one of the most important things for me is to make sure that people in Russia can watch this, because I think even people in Russia don't entirely understand what's happening with independent media and free people there and elsewhere. And I think this is valuable.
So the film brings us up to almost just a few months ago, and in the end credits there, we read that Dozhd has been broadcasting on YouTube and reaching a lot of viewers there. Can you talk at all about what the future is, or the near future of Dozhd is?
Нам нельзя задавать такие вопросы. Мы в России.
Вопрос про...
Я все поняла, я поняла, переводите ответ.
It's very... Natasha
В
gets...
России невозможно задавать вопрос о будущем.
You
Мы
can't
живем
ask-
здесь и сейчас, и сегодняшним днем. И нет, вот как сказал Сорокин, в России будущее — это настоящее, мы так и живем.
You can't ask questions about the future, Russia's future, as Sorokin says, is Russian present. All you can ask is what's happening right now, and we live only in the present.
Мы не строим плохих сценариев, потому что тогда невозможно ни работать, ни жизнь, ничего. Мы все равно оптимистик, channel, у нас все равно есть надежда, и мы живем только внутри себя ощущение того, что дождь есть, будет и будет долго и так далее, и не прогнозируем себе никаких плохих сценариев.
We can't plan for the worst, because in that sense it's impossible to work, it's impossible to live our lives. The only way we can exist is if we stay optimistic, and if we believe that Dozhd is around, will be around for as long as possible, and that it's important, because we can't plan for the worst. It's impossible there.
Let me take some questions from the audience. If you raise your hand, stand up, and I can repeat your question. Yeah, stand up and speak as loudly as you can. So the question is, where do you get your strength from?
Откуда ваша сила?
Когда делаешь крутую штуку и понимаешь, насколько она важная для людей, и ты получаешь постоянно фидбэк от людей, что то, что вы делаете, это нужно, это необходимо. Для многих это возможность не уехать из России и быть в России, потому что есть дождь. И таких очень много у меня примеров вокруг. И ощущение, что ты находишься в неком адекватном мире, потому что есть дождь, есть такие же люди, которые, как я, условно смотрят дождь, а значит, я не один. Вот это все, конечно, в первую очередь это дает силу. Дальше я могу рассказать про танго, йогу, вот это все я могу, да, но главное, это, конечно, люди, для которых мы это делаем.
One of the main places I get my strength is the feedback I receive from others when people come up to me and tell me that what we're doing is important, and what we're doing is making me feel like there is some semblance of a normal world, and like I'm not alone. This is definitely what keeps me going, and keeps me feeling like I'm doing an exciting, important thing. And then obviously I can go on about yoga and dancing and tango and things like that, but the most important thing is the feedback and what the project gives to people.
Well, I hope you find a good tango dancer here in New York, because I think we've got some.
Yes, you want.
Okay, yes, right here, stand up and yes.
Thank you so much for your work. I'm just curious, it's a small question. How is Dozhd funded today?
Что как дождь? Ой, сейчас все очень просто, собственно, как и последние несколько лет, но сейчас почему-то даже стало лучше. Наверное, потому что нас признали иноагентом. Уже последние 6-7 лет Дождь финансируется на 50-60% подписчиками, которые покупают подписку.
Okay. Recently, it's become much easier to answer this question since we've been labeled as foreign agents. For the past 6 to 7 years, Dozhd has been about 50 or 60% funded by subscriptions.
Остальное — это реклама и дистрибуция. И с момента, когда мы открыли YouTube, у нас почему мы боялись открывать? Мы боялись потерять базу подписчиков. И мы действительно начали терять подписчиков, не катастрофически, но они стали падать. Но YouTube компенсировал это рекламными доходами, и плюс мы получили большую аудиторию. И вот сейчас мы вышли на какой-то такой очень правильный баланс между закрытым контентом и подписчиками, и тем, что мы отдаем на YouTube, таким образом еще зарабатывая. Ну и, естественно, когда нас признали иноагентом, количество подписчиков увеличилось, многие люди вернулись, мы получили очень много поддержки просто в виде донатов, спонсорства на YouTube, и это, конечно, очень сильно нас так поддержало. И мы сразу начали больше просто тратить, запустили утренний эфир, запускаем новые проекты.
So the rest, the other 40-50% are made up by advertising and distribution. Since Dozhd opened its YouTube broadcast for free, and they were really worried about doing it because we were worried about losing the subscription base, which did happen a little bit, but YouTube more than compensated it with advertising. Ever since Dozhd got declared a foreign agent, the subscription numbers and the donations went right up, and Dozhd has actually found a really great balance between revenue from advertising and subscribers. But now Dozhd is reinvesting that all back into the content, and they've opened more shows. And but it's looking better than before, surprisingly.
Okay, yeah, we'll take one more question. If someone's got it. Yes, right here. So the question is, has it changed your reporting at all to move to a YouTube audience from a broadcast audience?
Нет. YouTube дал нам просто возможность и доступ к другой аудитории, совершенно той, которая не до этого когда-то смотрела «Дождь», потом не смотрела, и потом она к нему вернулась. С точки зрения контента мы ничего не меняли. Более того, мы усиливаем новостную повестку, потому что мы поняли, что на YouTube именно новостная повестка востребована. И что мы тоже, конечно, видим, это такое омолаживание аудитории очень серьезное, что тоже для нас было важно.
No, we haven't changed the content of the reporting at all. YouTube has given us access to a different audience, in large part a younger audience. It's the audience we had touch with when we first started Dozhd, and then we lost, and now we have it again. But it's important for us to have access to the audience that watches YouTube, and news is one of the main things that people look for in YouTube in Russia.
So Vera, let me ask you the final question. This is, as I said before, you're the first U.S. audience to see the film. We're going to have another screening at the festival next Thursday, so in theaters. So please tell people. And also, as of tomorrow, it'll be on our online platform. So if there's anyone you know across the United States who isn't able to see it that you think would like to, send them to our online platform. But Vera, can you talk about what your hopes are next for this film?
No, first of all, Mike and I, we want to arrange distribution for this film around the globe. For me personally, the impact of this film is more important than film itself, because I wanna this story would be heard by many people, and that is why we try to make it quite very accessible for wide audience, not just for experts and in politics or Russian studies. So this film will be premiered in Europe on BBC. We sold rights to Germany, Scandinavian countries, but frankly, we haven't started our distribution yet. And so, Mike, help me.
I want to say one thing, that whatever the fate of this film, it has been enormously enhanced by the privilege and thrill of being at Docs NYC, and thank you for having us. It's a really great start of this film's journey, so we're really grateful to that. Yeah, we'll see what it goes. I mean, I think obviously the important thing is for people in Russia to see this film as well, so we'll see how that goes, but fingers crossed they will. So thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here. We do have 6 more days of films at the festival, so I hope you pick up a catalog and peruse it, and if you either come back and see something else or watch it at home on our online platform. Want to give a big thanks to Paulina for her wonderful translating, to Natasha, Vera, and Mike for being here.